Hello there, in this video we're going to start building our homepage for our project, so let's go. Okay, so now onto the FAQ section. Let's hold shift and let's just drag this up. There we go, and let's just check that is in fact all the way to the edge for 1440, which it is. Okay, so we have a heading, we've got an accordion component, and then we have some kind of visual or image here on the right hand side. Okay, let's start off with the heading. Let's just copy out this heading here, paste that in, and actually what I'm going to do, let's bring that down here and let's just rename that to FAQs, and that's using all the correct variables, so that's good. Let's delete that out. Next, I'll quickly add some content to these accordions, so let me just do that now. Okay, there we go, that's done. Let me just group these together. So Shift A, let's just pop the heading there. Let's Shift A on both of these and let's just label that as content. Okay, let's add some spacing variables as well. Okay, so those variables have been applied. Let's just add some spacing to the overall container. So let's go in here, let's press Shift A. Let's do 16 there and 24 here and here. Okay, let's just click in here, let's double click, and the space between is set to auto, so that's good. Okay, let me just turn on the grids again for a moment, just see where we are. Okay, we can probably bring that image out a little bit further. Okay, that's good, so we've got a good space there to work with. Potentially we could move these out a little bit further. Okay, so let's make this section look ever so slightly different. Let's add a background, let's add a fill, make it Sapphire 50, so not too strong. Let's go in here and let me just paste in an image I've got from Pexels, and there it is. It's a little bit big. There we go. Let's move that down, just scale it down a bit further. So I've grabbed this image because I quite like these elements here in the middle. So now if I go to my actions and do remove background, I'll let AI remove the background for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me go ahead, let me just take a copy of this. So option, click and drag. Let's just pull this in. Let's try and put this in. Okay, I need it inside of this container. Let's pop it in there. Let's just move it over to the left hand side. Let me delete out that frame just there. I certainly don't want it that large, so let's just scale it down a little bit more. Okay, let's click on the image, let's go to appearance and apply a blend mode. Let's just go down, let's try luminosity. Yeah, that's fine, that knocks the color out of it, kind of blends in nicely with this section. I think what I'm going to do is, let me just take another copy of this image and let me just crop it down a little bit. So let's just draw a rectangle, draw it over here, just reduce the opacity to 20%, so at least I can see where the rectangle is. And let's just put it really tight up against this image. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the image above, we've got the rectangle there. Okay, let me just flip those layers. So we've got the rectangle, we've got the image. Click on mask. Okay, that should be good. Let me just make sure I've got everything set correctly. Let me just adjust the fill on this to 100%, so there we go. Let me now Command C, and now let's click on the container, let's paste that in. Let me delete out this old one because it's got lots of space around it. And now let's look to scale this down a tiny bit more, and let's just apply a blend mode to that as well. Let's go back up to the top, let's turn on the grids, and let's just go down and let's just see how things are going to be sitting. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think with the positioning of this, I'm going to ignore the auto layout. I'm going to select the container, align everything to the left. Let me go in here and let's just bring this over ever so slightly. Let's get this aligned with the grid. So I've set the image to ignore the auto layout. I just put a couple of shapes either side which are 24 pixels wide, just so it sits neatly within the grid lines. So we can delete those out now. Let's go back up here, let's turn off the columns and let's go back down. So yeah, I think that sits okay. I think that sits nicely. It's within the grid, and we've got potential to add more FAQs if we need to, but I think this is fine for now. Okay, let's move forward from this section and let's work on reviews. Okay, so let's shift click, let's drag this up. Let's go up here, let's steal a few of these headings. So let's steal this heading here. Let's press Shift A first of all, apply an auto layout. And let's just paste in what I want, which is that. Let's rename that to reviews. Just gonna have a look at the heading. I'm just gonna zero out some of this padding, and I'll do the same for the others as well. Okay, so what's the typical padding? I think we're going 24 top and bottom these sections, so let's do that. Okay, let's update those variables. Okay, first of all, what I'll do is I'll update the name, the job role, and the review text. So let me quickly do that. Okay, so that content's been updated. Let's go ahead and let's select each of these profile images. Let's go back into our actions and let's go UI faces. Now, because I've got those selected, if I click anyone in here, it should update the UI. So let's use that for the first one. Let's find someone for the second one. There we go. And for the third and the last one. Okay, so those are up to date. Okay, so something that I notice right away is the spacing here between these elements is a little bit too large. It just feels a bit off. So let's go into the carousel in the UI kit. So let's click here. Let's go carousel. Let's unlock the page. Now, let me just go into this card. I think 8 pixels is just too much. If I zero that out, it just makes it a little bit tighter. I think that looks better. Okay, let's publish our changes. Go up to libraries, go to publish. Let's add some notes. Okay, let's publish that. Okay, so those changes are successfully published. Let's go back into our file. Let's click on libraries. Let's click on carousel. And I guess if we put the elements side by side, or if we overlay them, see, obviously the text has changed. If we zoom in, you can just see that text looks better when it's tighter together. So let's update that instance. Let's close that down. Okay, so those changes are in. I think the review section is now pretty much done. I think it's starting to look really good when we've now added some imagery and some real content to the page. Let's go ahead by finishing off the page. Let's just drag the footer up. So holding shift, let's bring that up and let's get that to snap there. Now let's just go to the home page. Let's just pull this up. Okay, so there we go. That's the footer dragged up as well. Let's just have a look at the page in its entirety. So let's select the home page, press Shift Space, and then you can always expand it so it expands into a tab. Okay, so let's have a quick preview. So we've got the navigation at the top, we've got the hero section, we've got our company logos here, then going into the Why Choose Us section. And let's scroll down, we've got the latest courses with our images. Let's scroll down, we've got the FAQs, reviews, and then into the footer. What I will do is let's go ahead and add some course content here just to finish off the page. So let's close that down. Let's go back to our designs and I'm just going to go ahead and add some content in here. Okay, so that content's now been updated on our page. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the page from the top. Okay, so I just want to move around some of the content just to see if it looks a little bit better, spaced out slightly differently. What's the spacing between these sections? Let's see. Okay, let's just pull this right out. Let's just bring all of this content down. So let's start with 24 and let's just put that right up against that one. Okay, so it's 16, so let's move that up a bit. Okay, so that looks a little bit better with the spacing at the top and the bottom. Let's bring up the next section. Let's leave that there. Okay, that's that section. Let's bring up the next one. And let's bring up these final 2 bits here. Might just add a little bit more spacing there at the bottom to give it some breathing room. So 72 from the top, 72 there, so we can add a little bit more space. And let's just pull up the bottom of the page. Let's get rid of the Figma panels for a minute. That's Command / and let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we've got our navigation, we've got a hero section, we've got the company logos, Why Choose Us, and then we go down into the courses, the FAQs, and into the reviews, and then yeah, into the footer. Okay, I think that's a good start for the home page, so let's go with that for now. Let's get our panels back. And let's go back into the research file. So I think we can say we've finished for now the home page. Let's move across. Okay, so in the next video, let's focus and we'll work on our About Us page for our project.
Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. So like and subscribe, add some comments, check out some other videos on my channel. Next up, I think coffee is on the list. That's a must. It's super early in the morning, so no one is awake. It's actually quite quiet. Even the dog hasn't moved yet. It's just very, very still. I found like this random fidget spinner. I don't know if you remember these, but you literally just spin it. That's it. I don't know if I'm gonna do tricks with this. I don't know if I'm gonna put it down or just hold it, but I have no idea what to do with it next. The bin. Anyway, I'm getting breakfast, I'm getting a coffee, and I'm gonna get on with my day. So have a great week. I will see you in the next video.